When it comes to transforming your fitness, there's a good amount of hard work and willpower involved, as anything worth having in life. But those that are able to achieve their fitness goals long term are not necessarily the people with the most willpower or motivation. It's the individual that is able to make their fitness a part of their lifestyle that succeeds in the long term. Your habits and daily actions made you the person you are today, so if you're trying to make a change in any area of your life, it makes sense to look into your daily habits and see what improvements can be made. If the daily actions you need to take to achieve your fitness goals become a part of your regular routine, the only thing that stands between you and your fitness goals is some time and patience. So in today's video, I will discuss 3 fundamental fitness habits that will help you transform your fitness in the long run. These are habits I personally employ and preach to my clients for better fitness progress. Let's dive straight into the first habit, and that is having the right goals in your fitness journey. And there are 2 main types of goals that we can set in the fitness process. First, we have outcome goals, like you maybe want a six-pack, and then you have action goals. For instance, if you set the goal of training 4 times per week, this is considered an action goal. An outcome goal is more result-oriented, while an action goal is more process-oriented. If we look at the literature, we tend to consistently see that being more process-oriented and focusing on having good action targets increases the likelihood of you achieving your goals, compared to only having outcome goals. It's totally fine to have an outcome goal, like wanting to have more muscle or trying to be leaner, but only focusing your energy on the exact outcome you're trying to achieve distracts you from what's actually needed to get the result in the first place, which is the work. With my clients and for myself, I like to focus on setting a set of clear weekly action goals that will help us take a step forward that week. For instance, here are some of my fitness-related action goals. Lift weights 4 times per week, a 30-minute walk at least 2 times per week, have 3 to 4 daily balanced meals, and sleep 7 to 8 hours per night. I know that if I can stick to these 4 action targets, I will take a step forward in my fitness journey. So rather than obsessing about how bigger my biceps need to be in the future, I focus my energy on doing the things that actually result in better fitness progress, which is the process of training consistently and having consistent nutrition. The more specific you make your action goals, the better, because the more specific a target is, the more likely you are to stick to it. If you make it very clear when you will train, how often, and in what environment, it's just more likely for you to actually adhere to the plan. If you have goals that are too ambitious or not ambitious enough, setting action goals will also help expose this. For instance, when you are setting your action goals and you look at your weekly schedule, and say for instance you work 60-hour weeks and have a family at home, it will probably be tough to fit in 6 long training sessions into that routine. Well, in that case, you can also say, I will fit in 3 or 4 shorter training sessions and make that an action target. Lastly, about goal setting, focusing more on process-oriented action goals also makes sense from a sustainability point of view, because the fun and enjoyment of a fitness process does not come from the results, it comes from the journey that you go through. Think about feeling good after an intense training session, experiencing higher energy because you consumed a nutritious meal. These are the things that keep you hooked and make fitness a part of your regular routine. Once consistent exercise and healthy eating becomes a part of a routine you enjoy going through, you are set. As time passes by, you will experience improved health and fitness. So habit number 1, which is arguably also the most important habit, is getting your mind right and focusing on setting practical weekly action targets that will help you move your fitness forward. Now the next habit is something that is often overlooked, and that is taking your warm-up and lifting technique seriously. I'm guilty myself of jumping into the weights too quick sometimes without warming up properly and lifting a bit heavier than what is wise. That's why for the past week or so I've been walking around with a sore shoulder, but I'll be fine. The point of the matter is that if we want to make long-term muscle and strength progress, we need to be healthy and injury-free. You want to avoid neglecting a warm-up and pushing more weight than you can handle. Eventually you may hurt yourself and then you won't be able to stay consistent long-term. The most important variable in your fitness journey is time. The longer you stay consistent, the more time your body has to make slow and steady progress, and this slow progress then adds up over time. Now, about warming up, I typically suggest having 3 short steps in your warm-up routine. First, we have a general warm-up to increase your body temperature. This can be 2 to 5 minutes on the stationary bike, elliptical, or treadmill. After the general warm-up, we move into doing 2 dynamic stretches. If you train the upper body, doing shoulder slaps and wall slides are good options. For the lower body, leg swings to the front and leg swings to the side are good dynamic stretches. Lastly, we move into the warm-up sets. Gradually build up to your first working set in about 2 warm-up sets. After this, the workout can begin. This should take a maximum of 10 minutes, and after those 10 minutes, you are ready for a solid workout. Now, for when you actually go into the training sessions, it's also key that we stay realistic with our weight selections. It can be tempting to stack on more weight than you can handle to push yourself, but it's actually far more effective to keep the weight at a moderate level and make sure that you can handle the weight properly to have good technique as well. When you have realistic weight selection, your technique is better, so the target muscle gets challenged more despite using less weight. And because your technique is better, you also avoid long-term pains and aches, so you can stay consistent in your training for longer. This altogether just results in better progression. The third and final tip that I would like to discuss is in regards to hydration. We all know that drinking water is important, but how does hydration affect your physical performance in training? One research review suggests that athletes should prevent fluid loss of more than 2% of total body weight if they want to maximize performance. Another study looked directly at strength training and found that mild dehydration negatively affects strength performance on the back squat. So your hydration status can have an impact on performance. There's a simple way to see whether you are well hydrated. From the scientific literature, we know that the urine color chart you see on the screen gives a good indication of hydration status. If you are within points 1 to 3, you are hydrated just fine. Once you approach point 6 or higher, it's time to prioritize hydration ASAP. There's of course also such a thing as drinking too much water, but this shouldn't be a concern for most people if they keep their hydration in check and you don't drink way beyond what your thirst level indicates is what you need to drink on a daily basis. For most people, simply drinking according to your thirst level will put you in the right ballpark for hydration. But if you drink according to your thirst and in your urine color you see that you are still not hydrated well enough, then make it easier for yourself to drink more water by keeping a water bottle at hand. So we discussed a lot in today's video, from how to set action goals all the way to somehow discussing urine color, but I hope you were able to get some value out of this video about forming habits. And if you found this video helpful, then definitely leave me a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And I will see you in that next video.